Feeling alone with tinnitus. One of the worst things about tinnitus is that other people don't seem to understand what we're going through. If you have a broken leg and you're wearing a plaster, people say, "Oh gosh, how did you do that? You poor thing, please take a seat. Can I help?" And you get a lot of understanding and sympathy. But with this secret hidden away inside your nervous system symptom of tinnitus that a lot of people have never experienced, it's very hard to get any understanding or sympathy from other people. And it can help us feel tremendously locked away and separated into our own cut off individual experience that is really remote and can leave us feeling like we can't get any help at all. I can remember feeling tremendously frustrated that people thought, oh, you know, just get over it, kind of thing, or can't be bothered with the tinnitus. And I was walking around with this deafening Chinese water torture in my head, and because other people couldn't see it, they didn't really seem to care. And the deeper issues here are that when we're alone with our experience, it can really put our suffering into a very remote corner where we become cut off and unhelpable, and we get stuck into this sense of despair, and like a door closes and we can't help ourselves, and we find it hard to get help from other people, and we feel miserable. One of the wonderful things I've learned from being a cranial sacral therapist is that when you take up contact with people, you can feel that everybody and everything is much more connected than we first think. When you become aware of the energies of everything, we are just bundles of energy. Any physicist will tell you that. You know, we've got a physical body, we've got the biological processes, we've got the minds, and we've got the awarenesses, and all the energies. And when you look at things energetically, things are much more connected than we think they are. You know, thinking awareness is quite limited. It's very useful being able to think, but it's not until you drop into the experiential level where you are noticing how things feel that you can really start to sense that everyone and everything is interconnected. So it's funny when thinking back to what it was like having tinnitus. I was in a very cut off, separated out state. I felt incredibly remote and alone. And working with lots of people over the years and getting involved in Buddhist practice and meditation and dropping into a much deeper state of awareness, you really start to experience people and situations as a shared joint field of activity and interaction. And I feel the opening out into this really is very comforting, because you realize that our sense of being a separate, alone thing can soften, and we can get a bigger perspective of just being an ingredient in a, in a large soup, which takes the pressure off somewhat. And relating this to tinnitus, a lot of people get caught in this tiny little bubble of awareness where they're just living in this intense, high voltage focus of life in the head. I encourage people to increase this bubble so they include all of the body, so you're much more inhabiting the whole of you, not just living upstairs in the attic, but really experiencing the whole shape of the body, and then taking that awareness out even further into a group and into the larger picture, whatever that means, and feeling everything soften and let go. You know, it's a really lovely experience to go into a group of people and to experience a group field of loving kindness and peace and acceptance and stillness as a palpable thing, and to let go into that, just to be a part of that. It's very, very nourishing in itself. So I think having tinnitus, in a way, it's a journey to get in touch, to expand our awareness, and to open out into a much more peaceful state, which comes from holding, it comes from connection with other people. That's why it's a great privilege to be a therapist, because you're entering into joint relationship with people, and the stuck, knotted up parts of that person's existence or personality can open up, free up, and release more and more until we feel much, much calmer and more connected.